Hey, what's up guys? Everything Apple Pro here, and today we're doing a camera test with the new Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra and my modified iPhone 11 Pro. You're going to be seeing that square machined housing. Do not confuse that with the iPhone 12 Pro. I'm not from the future. But today I just wanted to check out the majestic Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra and its glorious, huge platter of a camera. It's awesome. I don't care how it looks. I want it to perform. And in this video, let's test the best and biggest camera sensor on the market right now, 108 megapixels. We'll be doing a variety of tests. So the majority of this video will be filmed in 4K 60, front and rear. If I'm filming in anything else, I'll mention it in the video. And we're gonna do everything. So stabilization, low light, quality, zoom. I even wanna test 8K, but we'll crop it. The video won't be in 8K, but we'll crop some scenes just to show you that quality increase. I'm very, very blown away with just early impressions. The dynamic range is fantastic. The quality is good. And the ultra wide camera is awesome. I love it. So Samsung did so good with this release. Let's put it to the test against the iPhone 11 Pro Max. And yes, the Galaxy S20 Ultra is really not competing with the 11 Pro Max. It's surpassed it already in the numbers. But let's see if the iPhone can keep up anyways. This is my friend. So he's gonna be helping me out with some of the tests, Philip too. And let's start with this beautiful machine. So what I hate about the iPhone software-wise right off the bat is I cannot switch cameras and keep the same video. You have to cut the video, kind of annoying. The software on the Samsung side is already so much better. So here's my baby, and she's looking so gorgeous on this sunny day. What I love on the Galaxy S20 Ultra is you get a full screen view. The entire thing is a view. And going to 0.5 on both, notice what a crazy view you get. It's like a window into this world. The iPhone one is cropped. I think Apple can do better here, but just visually, the Galaxy looks so much better. As usual, Samsung's looking vibrant, beautiful. The colors are a little bit more muted on the iPhone, but I'll wait until we bring this on the computer before I pass judgment. All right, in ultra wide, let's walk around. Let's see stabilization. Now, this baby got fixed up by Backyard Boys, Tim. I'll drop a link down below. Just want to say thank you, man. You have done me great justice. She's beautiful. Now, as far as capturing in the same angle, both are pretty close here. Looking really, really good. It's a beautiful sunny day. All right, so stabilization test in 4K 60. And it is on a handheld rig, so it may vary a little bit versus actually holding the phones. But I'm pretty impressed with both. This is one place where smartphones have actually gotten very good in the last few years. All right, so next, let's just do some general quality tests taken around my hometown city. And this is being recorded in 4K 60 frames per second. So using the standard wide angle lens, I'd say the stabilization is solid on both. I saw nothing wrong with either one. Very smooth, you know, there's really no complaints here. So panning shots, everything checked out. I actually prefer 4K 60. Most people will be recording in 4K 30, but the panning shots are much smoother. And the quality that we get nowadays on smartphones, it's absolutely stunning, just top notch, no complaints here. The only difference that I personally can see in a very well-lit environment is the colors. So the colors will vary, the contrast ratio, just the settings that Samsung or Apple applies to the camera will be different. Some people will prefer the Samsung, some people will prefer the iPhone one, but both qualities do check out. Just the detail, especially if you're doing some cropping, you want to be recording in 4K minimum. And oh boy, wait until we get into the 8K stuff here in just a second. But overall, looks fantastic, very detailed. The colors on some objects will be a little bit more contrasted on the iPhone. Sometimes the more green colors can be contrasted more on the Samsung, but it's solid, and the stabilization was good, so no complaints. Okay, and the zoom test. So this is where the Galaxy S20 Ultra excels with its new space zoom, which can zoom up to 100 times with the assistance of digital zoom. Is it all marketing or is it true? So this is the standard view, and then zooming in about 30 times, which is still respectable, but you can make out the details. I was actually very pleasantly surprised that the Galaxy S20 Ultra did well here. Now starting with standard, 0.5, then standard, then 2 times, 4 times, and then going to 10 times, 30 times, and from there 100 times. Look at that. That's actually quite impressive. I like being able to do that with the lens. Same thing again, so 0.5 times, and then 1 times, 2 times, 4 times, 10 times, 30 times, and 100 times. Notice the text. The text actually gets crisper, and this is because of the machine learning with the camera. It'll actually adjust it post picture taking, something Apple actually does too, but that's quite interesting to know. And it was this exact test that really sold me on the capabilities of the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra. I was always a little skeptical of the 8K if it was actually natively recording it, but here it's very clear that the 108 megapixels are real and they make a huge difference. So 8K 24 frames per second on the Galaxy S20 Ultra, on the iPhone 4K 60. So I'm gonna apply a little bit of zoom here. This is 2 times, then we're gonna jump to 4 times, and you can still make out the detail, the bricks, the clock hands, the clock hours, the shingles. It's still very detailed here. If we apply the same zoom on the iPhone, just look at how pixelated it gets. That's 10 times zoom, and it had to be applied digitally after, as the iPhone only lets you record 3 times in 4K 60. Just wow, you can make out so much detail even when zoomed in this close, and that just makes editing later much easier. It future-proofs all of your content. It'll always be good to have higher quality video down the road when storage does get cheaper. But yeah, not to get ahead of myself here, but 8K, this sold me on it. I have an 8K TV, I've never seen any content in 8K, but now I'm excited to actually play this on that TV, see how it looks. Maybe we'll get this on the iPhone later this year. I would like to see it. I can only imagine how much storage this is swallowing up, but the quality, the detail, once you really get in there, is pretty dang good. Also, the colors on the Galaxy S20 Ultra this year, fantastic. I really love what Samsung did with their color profile. Back in the day on the older Galaxies, it would look not so realistic. Here, it looks great. It looks great on both, actually. And just when you thought that smartphone cameras have reached their apex of quality, Samsung comes along and shows us that it can always be boosted by boosting those numbers. 108 megapixels. It's crazy, but it does make a difference. And ultra-wide video in a car. All right. Private drive. Gotta say, I'm pretty dang impressed with the S20 Ultra. I'm gonna consider using it for my daily. Damn, I love this car. I think this is one of the most beautiful cars ever made, and it's so affordable. This is in the ultra-wide lens, 4K. Notice the noise. So the iPhone does a lot of smoothing. I'm just sitting here editing, and in this darker environment, the iPhone, I mean, it looks better, but it's all software. Both struggle with the ultra-wide, which has not matured enough to look good in low-light environments. Just a quick test outside. So this is on my deck. It's pretty much pitch black outside. We've got some lights set up, and I want to do a test of noise. So far, indoors, it seemed like the iPhone did better in low light, but the Galaxy S20 should theoretically do better. It does have a wider aperture. Let's see how that looks on the computer. Both do look great. Let me know down below in the description which one you think looks better in low light. Let's do some audio zoom. This is with cars outside. It's enabled by default on the Galaxy S20 Ultra. Let's see if you can hear me any better versus the iPhone 11 Pro Max from about 10 feet away, 10, 12 feet. All right. And switching over to the selfie camera. So on the S20 Ultra, we have a 40 megapixel shooter with a 2.2 aperture. On the 11 Pro Max, a 12 megapixel shooter with the same aperture. And these are pretty close, although the color temperature on the S20 Ultra, for some reason, is very blue, washed out. And the iPhone applies excessive smoothing to try and fix the noise. I'd say the S20 Ultra is the sharper one here. Color-wise, the iPhone looks more accurate to me. And low light for the rear camera in varying stages of lighting. The S20 Ultra is using the 108 megapixel shooter with an aperture of 2.2. The iPhone, a 12 megapixel. That's just funny comparing those sizes. There's such a big disparity now with a 2.2 aperture. The big difference here is the pixel sizes. On the Galaxy, because there are more, they're smaller, and you're getting a 0.8 micrometer pixel in length versus the iPhone's 1.4. Bigger pixels means the sensor captures more light, although the Samsung compensates with this thing called pixel binning, where it combines 9 pixels into one. I gotta say, both look great. There is a difference here in color temperature, but detail-wise, the S20 Ultra is picking up more detail in the very same environment. So as far as low light goes, Gotta give it to the S20 Ultra. They're just more advanced, further ahead than Apple. And I personally do prefer the Galaxy S20 Ultra in the low light situations, both the selfie and the rear cam. It's not as big of a difference as you would think, but the quality certainly is leaning in favor of the Galaxy S20 Ultra. So there it is, guys, a few days of testing with the S20 Ultra versus the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Let me know your thoughts down below, which one you would prefer and which one you thought was better in which scene. Personally, I think both are great. The iPhone 11 Pro is the best iPhone camera ever. It's only gonna keep getting better, but the S20 Ultra does have that leading edge right now. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more S20 videos. Peace.